Yeah, big tune there, bringing the Takrady experience for today to a close. Love that. More from Maps and Komla in the coming days. But we've been asking you that simple question. 2020 will be my year if. And asking you to complete that sentence. We've got so many of your entries. We'll read them to you in a moment. And then we'll analyze those entries with our guest, Doreen Buffo, who is a life coach. Doreen, it's always nice to see you.
Same here, good job.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Excellent.
How are you?
Awesome.
You right?
Yourself?
I'm good.
Great.
All right.
So 2020 will be your year if?
For me, it's meditating more.
Okay. Meditating.
So
Yeah.
just a bit more quiet time to myself and getting in tune with me and preparing for the day.
Nice.
Yeah.
What has kind of stopped you from doing that so far?
So I do it. I just want to take it a notch higher. So I'm moving from like a grade 6 to a 7. I think this year I realized the influence it's brought to my life. Just having that inner peace to focus on what needs to be done. Because the moment you step out there, it's chaotic. So just getting that time to fellowship with me and set the day right and set what mood, what reactions I want to carry out there, how I want the world to experience me is what I want to do a bit more of.
So how are you planning on doing that?
Okay, so, excuse me, so currently I do a lot of that in the mornings, but I discovered something about it, doing it in the evenings this year. I think in the evenings work better for me.
Right.
I jumped quickly into the mornings because it just sounded like the natural way of doing things. It's almost what everybody prescribes.
Yeah.
And it's what I watched my mom do as a little girl. So she would wake up in the morning just before she starts baking, and she'll sit in front of the staircase, and a few times I'll bump in on her and I want to start the conversation. She says, sit. And then one day she said to me, listen. You know, and there was really nothing to listen to. So I'm listening, I'm going, okay. And then she says, isn't that beautiful? I'm like, what is beautiful? She said, silence.
Yeah.
You know? And later on in life, she taught me you can never misquote silence. And she said that you prepare yourself for the world. She was a mother of 6. For the world out there in the morning, because that's the only time she got. I find for me now, the mornings are not the right time. There's a rush to work. But in the evenings, just sitting down quietly, reflecting on the day, planning what the next day should be like is what works for me. So
that's what I should have done to my over hyper 9-year-old before now.
Oh,
So
nice.
to meditate.
Isn't that beautiful?
With silence. All right, so we posted that question on Facebook, and we've been getting some of your reactions. 2020 will be my year if. Let's see what you have been saying. All right, we'll start with Rexford, who says, I change from all bad habits, persevere, don't blame others for my problems, take action, and have an open mind for new ideas and not having a sense of an individualistic self-defense. So that's okay. So you want to change his bad habits. But Emily Lott says, Seydu, let's go to Seydu, who says, I get married. So 2020 will be my year if I get married. I have no one in mind yet, though. And I start, okay.
I've got 12 months to sort that out.
And 2020 will also be my year if I start building my building project. That's from the previous post. And Prince Nuruddin Bame says, if Almighty Allah grants me an everlasting life and good health. Kojo?
Yeah. Somebody else here, new guy Ola, says, if Nanado pays the salaries or arrears, he promised to pay teachers on the 19th of this month. Yeah, 2020 will be his year if Nanado does that. Muhammad Abdul Ghaffar, he says, 2020 will be my year if Nanado will stop sleeping and fulfill his promises. Okay, Yawafum says, if I can give alms. Lescott Daniel says, if I stay away from girls.
Kojo?
Lescott, good luck to you. Boama Kwebi says, breakthroughs. Okay. Nana writes, is going large or going home. He says, if I win 1 billion cedis, but he wants to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah. So at least he wants to do something, and then he wins it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of people are saying, if I win bets. Kofi Issa is saying that. Young Mullah is saying the same thing. It's Bullet says, if I win billions. So yeah, People are hoping the year will go well if they win money. Interesting. Let's see. Okay. Keep going. Let's keep going.
All right, so that's all we have right now.
Okay.
But Doreen, 2019 has been an exciting year for most of us. 2020, how do I prepare my mind into making it the best year of my life?
That's a very interesting question. It's another day, it's just another day, isn't it? I read somewhere, I'm not sure where this morning, it says, don't go out today or don't sleep today, because you wake up and it's a new year. So for me, I think it's a lot on, to start any day or any new project, it's reflecting on what could have been better or what you set out to do for yourself.
Okay.
So in various aspects of our lives, last year you and I spoke about different aspects. We said spirituality, your work, your family, relations. If you have, I have a group of girlfriends who go out every other month. Then if you have a side gig, your day job, your night job, those areas, and then yourself as an individual, say maybe health.
Yeah.
And if at the beginning of the year or at a particular time during the year you set goals, let's say 10 is what it should look like, what great looks like. And if you did a self-assessment and found you were like a 6, so let's use me for instance. My ideal weight for the year to end this year was 72, and
72
kgs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And I hovered around, somehow 74 has just become my best friend.
Okay.
I did a great job from dropping from 83 to 74. And somehow 74 just, I don't know, Paul is in love with me. So for me, 72 is a 10.
Yeah.
I'm currently at 74. So I'll peg myself at an 8. What are the things that I need to change, or what do I need to become to win? So my winning is 72. So just taking one aspect of my life. The interesting thing is that you have to focus on you, and it always has to do with behavior. Behavior and actions are what generates the outcome you're looking for. So what behaviors do I need to change, or what behaviors do I need to modify, or what new behaviors do I need to imbibe or do more of so I can get to my 72? So a lot of it is action and behavior. What are the actions that you must begin to do or modify, do less of, so you can achieve what it is that you've set for yourself? But like I was saying to you, eat an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? Because it's such a big thing, you as an individual, there are different aspects to what makes you this great person that you are. Let's break it down so it's easier to focus on. So health-wise, or your life and purpose-wise. Maybe school, maybe work, day work, side gig. Lately, I find a lot of people doing that, which is beautiful. Family, and even family. For me this year, I'm breaking family into 2. I'm breaking the relationship with my spouse and the relationship with my daughter. I'm separating it because I find that she's at a stage in her life where very soon she leaves the house, and I want to form a kind of relationship with her before she leaves. With my spouse, it's just been a lot more funky girlfriend, that kind of thing.
All right.
so let's just break it down. Assess where you are right now, and then determine what winning looks like for you. So if you're at a 3, let's say winning for you would be a 5 by a particular period this year. What are those things? What actions, what behaviors must you take on, modify, drop, so you move from 3 to a 5?
To a 5.
I notice how you rely on numbers and values. You mentioned earlier that at your meditation you're at a stage 6, you want to be at a stage 7. You talked about how if achieving your weight goal is 10, then you would rate yourself at 8. How important is it to quantify the various steps that you're taking towards your goal, rather than simply having a goal and determining that it's a destination? Once I get there, then I've won. How important is it to perhaps break down your elephant into smaller pieces?
I think the mind gets excited when we celebrate our little success, and this gives us the vim that we can do more. So if you don't clarify or quantify what it is that you want to achieve or where you go, you miss out on celebrating small wins, and the mind just begins to give up on you and makes you can't do it. You've tried this before. The mind is it's quite interesting, but what you say to the mind gets comfortable being where it is.
Yeah.
You know, so you know how the alarm goes up and you just know that you want to go for a walk, and the mind tells you, oh, you know, you and I, we don't do this, we'll do it tomorrow. You know,
the whole year you haven't been doing it, so you're fine.
Yeah. You know, so it's certain numbers and a visualized destination gives you that hope that at least it gives you a defined idea of what success looks like, so that as you inch closer, you can begin to celebrate that. Because it's, if I said I want to read this book and it's this big, but if I said to you, read for 45 minutes every day, and you realize that in 45 minutes you've read 6 pages, so you suddenly realize that this book is doable in a month. It's a lot easier. It's eating an elephant in small chunks than saying, go kill the elephant and eat it. It's how can I do this? But when it's broken down into bits and you celebrate those wins, I read 6 pages today in 45 minutes. I'll do that this evening as well. Or I'll do it tomorrow. And it's 6, 12, then 18, and then you just keep going. The mind just begins to follow you, and you can do this.
Yeah.
Go girl. But if it's read this 300-page book, it's not doable. I haven't done this before. So it's just giving the mind a visual of what is doable and celebrating small wins.
Now, I noticed how many of our respondents on Facebook talked about 2020 will be their year if they win a lot of money in betting or whatever. But you said something about how progress is about changing behaviors. So for somebody whose goal is to win money, what behaviors are they going to have to, change or improve in order to achieve their goals?
I think we probably have to throw that to them.
Yeah.
To say, so they want to win. A bit of it's way outside their control. When you want to achieve an outcome, from my line of work, I like to focus on what lies within you, what you can control. It's like me saying, I'll get 2020 will be my year if you treat me better.
You're not responsible for how
it's not me.
Yeah.
But for that person who wants to win a particular amount, maybe there's a skill they probably have to learn. So it's perfecting that skill, so that if that skill currently has given them, let's say, 2,000 Ghana cedis, what do they need to do to win a 4,000 or a 6,000? So that's the kind of question I would want to, or the kind of conversation I would want to have with the person. What skill must you develop? What, maybe for them, it's actually getting to the place where they are likely going to win that. Maybe it's something they do. Does it mean getting there before everyone else? Or does it mean pairing up with particular people? But I want to focus on those actions that lie within their control than if it's somebody else.
Yeah. So talk about what falls in your control. That's a good tip. Now, I realize that at this time of the year, everybody is setting goals, and we all get very lofty with our goals, and this year I'm going to, go to church more, or this year I'm going to get married, We always want to start the year with some big, massive thing, and then tell ourselves we have 365 days to do it. The difficulty is not starting. Sometimes it's not even setting the goal or defining it or breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. It's continuing. Like on the 4th of April, how do you still come back and do that same thing that you have to keep doing every day in order to achieve your goal at the end of the year? What's the formula for consistency?
That's a very interesting question. Formula for consistency. So this evening I'm doing an exercise with my family to say, and it's just how we started this conversation, to say, what's the one word for you that will guide your 2020? What's the one word that for you, if you focused on, you will achieve your 2020? For me, that word is growth. Or let me take the TH out and make it grow. And I had to do quite a bit of introspection to come to that word, because I look at my day job, my side gig, my relationships, And a lot I have to become to win. So for me, after careful deliberation, I focused on grow. So then I take it one step further to say, what are those behaviors that I need to change to achieve growth in my work, in my relationships, in meditating more? What do I need to change to get that? So, excuse me, it's having that conversation with myself on a regular basis. For some people, it's monthly. For some people, it's every other week. But most importantly, also having somebody who cares enough in your space to ask you those questions that keep you on track.
Right.
So last year I shared with you how, for me, it was my daughter. This year I'm having people at work and people in my community. So I put it out there somewhere in November in a group I belong to. I said, so in August next year, my birthday is August. So I said in August 2020, I'm going to write a small book about my mother. I learned quite a lot of behavior modification and to become so that I win from my mom. And one of my friends suggested, how about you write maybe 14 to 16 stories? And I said, yes, I'll do that. They said, give us a timeline. And then I said, August 2020. So for 2 weeks ago, she sent me a text saying, I can't wait to read the book in August 2020. I'm like, my gosh, I'm in trouble. So
How many stories have you written so far?
Just one. So for me, it's putting it out there in a team I can trust and people who are not afraid to call me out on excuses. Because, it's I've been too busy. There's a lot to focus on, to say what are those things that you need to change so that you can do this. What's the work? What time during the day can you spare 1 hour so you can write one story? So it's having people to call me out like that and to help me separate my limiting beliefs or my excuses so that I focus on what is important. But also learning to break it down, like I said in the beginning, into small chunks. Plus taking the wins. I find that some of the goals we set achievable in 2 months. And so once we are done, that's just it. But once you conquer one city, I think it was Mandela, I've forgotten who said it, but he said, when you climb a hill, then you suddenly realize there are a lot more hills to climb. So it's breaking it down to say by January, I would have done this. And then in February, this month, this is what I want to do. Instead of the long, I would have done X by end of year. What should January look like for me? What should February look like?
Right.
And so you continue that journey as we go.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'd love to hear your voice as well. Give us a call. But here's what we're doing. First of all, you finish our sentence for us. 2020 will be my year if. Then you add what it is that would make 2020 your year. But also, if you have a question about how to achieve that goal, well, our guest will help you to navigate those difficulties. All right. So call us. I think we have a caller on the line, don't we?
Felix, good morning. Hi, do we have Felix? Hi, Felix. 2020 will be your year if.
Hello?
Hi, Felix.
Hello?
Yes, Felix.
Hi, I can hear you now.
Yes. 2020 will be your year if.
To me, I think 2020 will be my year off. Because the if comes.
Felix, let's give you an example, okay?
Okay.
So you'll understand the question. So I can say 2020 will be my year if I can build a house.
Okay.
2020 will be my year if I can go to university.
Okay.
So Felix, 2020 will be your year if
I can make a lot of savings.
Okay.
That's a great answer. So do you know how you're going to do that?
Yes. I think what I can do or what will help me is to set a goal. And that goal is I want to go have much savings. And how do I do that? Maybe I have to start with the little that I have. I can start with a susu box. start to put some coins in it or some notes in it. And how do I get that coins? Even though last year I started it, and this year I want to take it to another level. Last year, what I did was, after getting the Susu box, I kept some coins there. I opened an account. And later on, I was advised to add some notes. And apart from that, I have a target that this savings that I'm going to do, maybe I'm targeting about 4,000 before the end of the year, just a normal savings. And that will just be like my normal work that I do. I'm a teacher by profession, but I do a satellite installation as well. So I said, when I go to work, whatever I get, I go to save it. But I'm targeting 4,000 Ghana cedis within the year. But surprisingly, when I went to the Susu company, I saw that they even have a higher target. So I said, no, my target should be more. Okay. And before the year ends, I went through the book, or I look at the book, and to my surprise, even that 4,000 that I target, I'm just using the 4,000 as an example. Yeah. The 4,000 that I target, I had about 3 times of it.
Wow.
Because I have been able to cut down certain things that I was doing. Yeah. Behavior-wise, maybe it could be standards. I could just limit myself getting only one standard, which I'll be comfortable with. It could be a clothing, which I don't have to run with others, because the vision others have might be different from mine. Yeah. Putting in a clothing to go to work and come back, I might be comfortable. One person might want to look more fashionable, say that, oh, let me get this, let me get that. But I have a goal that this is my savings, and this savings that I'm going to do will help me to be able to carry out a big project, which could be maybe to build, to buy a car, or any other thing. So to me, what I would like to add is that once you set a goal, you have to work on it. Right. And once I work on it, that was my year target. But apart from the year, I broke it down into monthly basis, that every month I should be able to get this particular amount. And apart from the monthly, I broke it further into it weekly, that by the end of this week, I should get this amount to get my year target. And also daily, I should be able to get this amount so that I'll be able to work on it. So every day, I look at my goal. Maybe today I'm not able to get that amount. By the week, will I be able to get it? Within the month, if I see I'm drawing back, then I work on it again. So that before the year ends, I'll be able to meet the target I've set for myself.
That's fantastic. That's very great. Inspiring. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, Felix.
Extremely.
I appreciate that.
So for Felix, just an additional tip. I learned this, I think in 2002 or 2001, but it's called the golden rule of personal financial management. So it says that no matter how much you earn, you put 10% of it away for giving. Whether you like it or not, you give. They call it African tax. So you're either giving to somebody in your family, or, so 10% for giving. But then you put 20% into dedicated savings. So for anybody who earns 100 Ghana cedis a month, that's 20 cedis consistently into one saving plan or the other. And then you live your life on the 70%.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So at a point, you can grow the 20 to 30. But what it means is that you save before you spend.
I think what we'll do is we'll take a few of these calls so that we have a few of them for you to address, and people don't wait too long on the line. And then we'll hear your advice. That's great, though. That's a great tip. And
if you're calling, try to make your submissions as short as possible so we can have more people calling in. Let's go to Kumasi Munaf. Good morning.
Good morning. 2020 will be my year
if
2020 will be my year if I'm able to get at least.
All right, so we just lost Munaf. Do you have Mustafa?
That's a pity. What a cliffhanger to end the call.
Mustafa, good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
Yeah, so tell me, 2020 will be your year if
Ghanaians all understand that we need to change our leadership, especially the number one gentleman of the land.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 2020 will be his year.
And how do I do that? By explaining to my colleagues, but then also explain to their friends, to the family, in that chain, for us to understand that, look, the problems we have in our country is not a test, but then it's as a result of the failure of our leaders.
Okay.
And that we have to bury our partisan, and other tribal differences and come to the point that, look, we are all one, we are all Ghanaians. And that if my brother, right, from the same mother, same father, is not doing the work that he's supposed to do, I should understand and let us put him aside and bring someone who is more competent that can do the job for you and I.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mustafa.
Thank you very much, Mustafa. Emmanuel, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, 2020 will be your year if.
Hello.
Hi, Emmanuel. 2020 will be your year if.
Yeah, 2020 will be my year if I consider Jesus Christ as final solution.
So, if you consider Jesus Christ as?
The final solution in life.
Okay.
The final solution in life.
That's
Okay.
my message, simple.
Okay.
Because I remember the Bible is the rich man in the Bible who has a plan, a lot of plans for the year. He has achieved a lot. And then at the end of the day, he has taken Jesus Christ out. The Bible says that God told him that you fool, all those plans, all those harvests that all those material things that you have acquired without adding Christ, that so will be required from thee. And I realized all that plans we put in place to achieve something in life without Christ, I think it will be in vain. So 2020 will be my year if Jesus is the final solution in life.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you,
calling.
Emmanuel. All right. Now, how do 2019? I didn't achieve a lot of my goals, unfortunately. But how do I enter 2020 without feeling like such a complete failure? To start over again, to be like, okay, you know what? If I didn't achieve it last year, I don't have to say it this year. How do I go into 2020 not feeling like a complete failure, really?
I like that. What are the goals that you have achieved in 2019? I just need for you to sit and do that reflection. Because a lot of the times we kind of place more on our achievements, but what doesn't work for us, we magnify and make them really big. But if you sit to reflect on 2019 and you begin to check those boxes, you realize those things that you actually did really well. Maybe, again, back to numbers, maybe you wanted it to be at an 8, but you did a 7.
Yeah.
To celebrate that, to say this is doable, or I did X and I'm happy about it. But what are those new timelines that I need to set for those ones that I missed? So to say, okay, I wanted to do this by December. How about February 2020? And then asking yourself those reflective questions. So what needs to change so that I achieve? What do I need to do more of so I achieve? What are the lessons that I have learned in 2019 that I can share with the people around me? What are my wins? Because celebrating them just fuels the ability or the capability, that notion that you can do more. So first, look at 2019, do that reflective exercise to say, what are those wins? Celebrate who are those I can share the wins with, and what are the lessons I can share from my win to help to fuel that ability to do more in 2020 would be what I would say.
All right, let's take our last caller, Al Hassan in Yendi. Good morning. Al Hassan, do we have Al Hassan on the line?
Hello?
Hi. 2020 will be your year if.
Yeah, 2020 will be my year if Hajia Adiwat Amama Sane Zakaria wins the Yendi MPP primaries.
Oh, okay.
And goes ahead to win the general elections with Nanado, the next president for 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Hassan.
Thank you.
It seems like
we talked about this,
external factors, and I don't know.
So if you say 2020 will be your year if someone else does something,
So
your entire year now depends on that other person and not on anything you have control over.
So it's like I'm not responsible for my year. It's pretty much sitting in the back and saying,
we can help them reframe that, So, for instance, the one who said, spoke on leadership, we can help him bring it back to himself to say, how can you begin to live that leadership that you want to see in your community or in your family? How would you want your family to experience your leadership? How would you want your workplace to experience that leadership that you're speaking about? so that we bring it back to the present. Because he talked about speaking to different people, but bringing it back to him to say, show it, live it, so we can begin to see it and in your various relations, because your world is the world around you. So that if they can speak to that leadership style that you're talking about, then as you influence more people, we get to that big picture. So we can help him reframe it, bring it back to himself. Another person spoke on spirituality.
Yeah.
It's for us to bring it back to him to say, what are those things that you would be focusing on? What behaviors would you focus on to experience more of that fellowship with the one in which you believe in? For him, it's spirituality. So what does he need to do? What are those actions? And he spoke about not having plans, but I would say back to him, which one of you wanting to build a house will not first sit and plan and count the cost?
Yeah.
Let's he starts and is not able to finish, and the people around say, see that person, he started and was not able to finish. So it's important that we count the cost and plan what it is that we want to do. The other person spoke about helping somebody win. What does he need to do to make that a reality? So bring it back to
it back to yourself. Now, you know, we were talking earlier about celebrating the successes, you know, and also getting a sort of somebody to check you, you know, some sort of accountability partner, you know. So you tell your goal to someone, so the person will keep checking to make sure that you're achieving each small step that you've set. But you know, in our society, people are very protective of their dreams and wishes and goals. In fact, you go on social media today and there are people who are advising others, keep your dreams a secret until you're ready to, you know, come out. How do you marry the two? And I mean, first of all, is there some danger in sharing your goals with others? Is there a downside to that? And how do you protect against that?
The best way I can think of right now is to work with a professional. So for instance, the one who wants to save is finding somebody who is an expert in that field.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I'm in business, to work with, there are quite a number of business coaches in Ghana, to work with a professional in that field, just so that somebody is holding you accountable, helping you identify your limiting beliefs, keeping you in check, and helping you celebrate small wins as you journey towards that goal. What I'm not, for me again, family helps. I would share that with family to say, in this area, this is what I want to see happen. But when I spoke about writing the book, I was sharing with another coach to say, this is what I want to do. So working with a professional helps. Plus, if you don't want to share the entire goal because you're because you're very protective, you want to keep it in the secret places of your heart, how about particular destinations for particular times in the year? By end of Q1, this is what I want to see happen in my life. How about you? What do you want to see happen in your life, so that we are holding each other accountable?
Yeah.
In my workplace, what I do with my colleagues is just to write it on very small sticky notes. So as we achieve them, we just move them around, so that once we see a lot of the sticky notes in the done list, we actually see the progress. But it's very visual.
Yeah.
So we see it. So for them, it's sharing what we want to happen in the workspace. But I know that's not the only thing they want to see in their lives, because, again, there are different aspects to their lives. But I keep it very professional to what should happen in our space. So keep it professional, work with a professional, share it in bits to particular people in particular spaces. And that's what I do.
Doreen, that was wonderful.
It was.
As always.
Keep it professional. Keep it, hold yourself responsible and accountable. I mean, it's great. Yeah, 2020, we're entering this year.
It's our year. We're
entering this year. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Mom.
Darren Buffo, for that. It's a cocktail party at the poolside of Tang Palace Hotel this Tuesday, December 31st, 2019, from 6 p.m. till midnight. Good music, sumptuous meals, and breathtaking fireworks, all at 150 Ghana cedis. Now, you can call 054-0122-481, 054-0122-481 for more details. It's tonight, and it's going to be awesome, so you don't want to miss it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's Tang Palace. It's a palace. You're a princess. Maybe we should, get you there. By the way, call it Christmas in Bojo, and you'd be right. Bojo Xmas is what everybody is getting excited about. This year, why don't you start your Christmas and New Year festivities at Bojo and end them at Bojo too? Here's why. They're creating the ambience for you and your family to relax, to enjoy and have lots and lots of fun. All right, so tonight, there's a New Year's Eve party. On Wednesday, the 1st of January, tomorrow, there'll be a New Year beach bash. On Thursday, family day. Friday is beach preparation day. On Saturday, another massive beach party. And then there's a big goodbye beach party on Sunday, all happening at Bojo Beach Resort, where you are assured of clean beaches, secure and spacious parking as well. So come along, have a fantastic time on the coast.
All right, once again, Doreen, thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Mom.
All right, and this is where we take a quick break for showbiz.
Oh, actually, before we